June is done and had some surprises in store for us. Stay tuned as I share our real numbers for June 2020 with our zero-based budget. Hello and welcome to the Budget Bounce. If we haven't met yet, I'm Jen, and I talk about living life on a budget on this channel, and that includes things like how we spend our money, how we save it, paying off debt, all the things that we're doing in pursuit of financial freedom. If you like to talk about money and want to be a part of the conversation, feel free to leave a comment below and introduce yourself. And tell me how June went for you. And make sure that you tap on that subscribe button down below and click on the bell so that you'll get notified every time I post a new video. So let's get into this budget, and I'm just going to switch right over here to the screen. What you're seeing here is our budget template that I use every month, and we are going to be talking about all of the different columns today. But we're going to be talking about all of these columns. We'll be talking about what we budgeted, what the actual was, and what our over-under was for the month. But the focus is going to be the actual column, which is this one right here, as we move through this spreadsheet. So first of all, you'll see that we have our regular salaries blacked out for privacy reasons. I have no problems sharing the totals, but I do block out the details of who brings in what. You will see here that we brought in $2,337 from our sinking funds. So this is money that we earned previously and had been saving, and we pulled it in because we spent it during the month of June. We didn't pull anything in from the emergency fund. In June, I did have this airfare refund of $696.20. I was also supposed to get my ground transportation refunded, but they did not get that done in June for some reason. We also had an insurance refund, and this is a monthly refund that we've been getting from our auto insurance since we're not driving as much, of $32.75. So that brings our total income to $13,159. So that was the bucket that we ended up having to work with throughout the month. And you can see that was about $2,200 more than what we originally planned. And that was part of the surprise. That was part of we had no idea we were going to be getting into this much of our sinking funds and that kind of thing. So I'll explain that as we get to that section. Next up is the giving section. May and June are huge gift giving months for us. And that's just for birthdays, anniversaries, Mother's Day, Father's Day. There's 14 of those in a 9-week period. But also we had graduations and things like that. So that's all carrying into July this year, since the graduation hasn't actually happened here for my son yet and his friends. So hopefully that's going to be happening in July, although we aren't sure about that either. Anyhow, so we spent $314 on gifts, which was $85 less than what we planned. Looking at housing, we had $1,054 for our mortgage, $135 for utilities, nothing for quarterly utilities, this is our water, garbage, sewer. Nothing for those because we pay those quarterly, so they're not due again until August. Mobile services, $185, internet, $109, and that brought our total to $1,476. We were over by $7, and that was all in the mobile services, and that's because we had a change to our plan that took that up a few dollars. So, $1,476 for June. In transportation, we planned on $300 for gas and only spent $187, and then we didn't have any other expenses during the month of June, including our OnStar. So our total transportation was $187, which was $133 less than what we planned. In food, whole other ball game. We planned on $600 and spent $1,074. And you can see that almost all of that was in groceries. We spent $1,027. We were under on dining at $46. And so, we came in $474 over. Now, part of that is that we were stocking up on some sales that were happening. And so it's summertime and lots of grilling sales and things like that with meat and things of that nature. And so we took that opportunity to stock up. We are concerned about a shortage for later in the year, especially if we have another resurgence, I guess, nationwide for COVID. And so we are filling our freezer right now. That's a big big chunk of that. So $1,074 for food in June. In the Henry category, we didn't have any school fees or food service since he is done with school. We had a $120 charge for his graduation party line because I did go ahead and order invitations. All right, in pets, we didn't have anything for grooming. We had $71 in food. Nothing for meds. We had $54.95 for vet. Our total was $126 for the month, and we came in under at $38. In insurance, we didn't have any changes. This was as normal. Auto insurance got paid at the end of May, so that's all done for 6 months. So our total came to $771. In entertainment, we had $35 for streaming, $3 for HP Inc., nothing for Cinemark again because they have suspended their memberships since the theaters are closed. And we didn't spend anything on family entertainment, so that brought our total to $38, which was $5 under what we originally planned, even though we were over in streaming. This was a new service that we tried, but we are under by $5, at $38 for June. In health, we had our flexible spending at $325, our gym at $10. The healthcare came in at $144, and so that total came to $479, which was $19 more than what we originally planned. In the extras category, we had $80 for the kids, $17 for Great Clips. This was a haircut for Matt, finally. He hadn't had one in over 3 months. It was getting a little hectic. And then clothes was $266. And so $363 was the total here. The good news is almost all of this, I think like 160 of it, no, more than that. I think all but 160 was covered by sinking funds. So we cash flowed some of it and we had sinking funds for the rest of it. In the crap, I forgot about that. We didn't have anything for this month. So that's always good. In envelopes, let's see here. I was at 21 out of my 40. Matt was at 66 out of his 60. We spent a total of $798 in household. A big, huge chunk of that, about 3/4 of that, was for a new grill and accessories for Matt. And that was planned for, and a bunch of that came out of a sinking fund, actually. And then miscellaneous was $87, and so we came in under there. So overall, we spent $974, which was $124 over what we originally planned. In the budget bounce, I didn't have anything for education or equipment or travel, but I did have $146 for subscriptions, and this included $119. It was an annual fee for a subscription fee for Canva because I have opened my Etsy shop. And so I am working on creating some new digital trackers and things like that. And I wanted to use Canva for that. So I upgraded to Canva Pro so that I can use it for those things. And speaking of my Etsy shop, it is open, and my budget template, if you like this template, it is available for sale there. And so I will include the link down in the description box below. Go ahead and click on that and check it out if you're interested. And let me know if you have any questions about it. So again, $146 for the budget bounce, which was $24 over what we planned, but not so bad considering that I did have a sinking fund to cover all of the subscriptions. All right, moving on to savings. We used, let's see here. Let's start with, we saved $703 in our emergency fund, and then it was a total of $115 to the kids' accounts. We didn't put anything in M1 Finance. Then Matt and I each had our retirement through work. These were deductions that came out of our checks. So our total was $1,269 to savings. Now we did end up using $40 out of Xanthi's account to help out with the kids. Our total at the end of the month, let's see here. First of all, let's talk about our liquid balance. Our liquid balance is $4,365. So you can see we are knocking on the door of $3,700 in our emergency fund, which has never, ever happened in our married life. We've never had this much money available for an emergency. So This is our big focus right now, this and one of our sinking funds, because of something that we feel like we need to do. But given the current state of the world with the pandemic happening, it just really brought to light, while we already wanted to do this, it really just confirmed the reason why we need to do it, because you just never know. Well, we've been very lucky, and Matt and I have both been working through the entire time. And Matt's actually had a lot of overtime, so we've had some extra income, which is, in 2 years, he'd never had any overtime. But he works for the unemployment department, and so his department is very, very busy. And so $3,700 in savings is something that just makes us feel a lot better about what's going on in the world. Next up, we have our sinking funds. And if you are new here, then this may be shocking to you. We do have a lot of them. And this is something that not everybody is into, this many sinking funds, but this is how we need to operate, because we need to get our money set aside and earmarked for the things that we need them for ahead of time, because we are spenders, both of us, and we have a tendency to let it just burn right through our pockets if we have it sitting where we can get to it. So instead, I move it aside and then we have it when we need it. So let's talk about what we saved, and then we'll talk about what we spent. So we put $230 into auto insurance, $39 into auto registrations, $20 to business travel, $80 to city utilities, $40 to clothing, $325 to estate planning. And let me talk about why we put so much in there. We didn't put as much as we planned, but we did put $325 instead of the normal $25 that I've been doing the last couple of years. And that's because we are trying to build this up so that we can not only do estate planning like wills, medical directives, power of attorney, all that kind of thing for me and Matt. And that package will cost, I think, around $900. I think that's what that's going to cost. Plus, we want to do a similar package that also includes some direction for our daughter and her boyfriend for our granddaughter, so that they can say what they want to have happen with her should something happen to both of them. So we'll be paying for a package for them as well at some point in the near future. So we didn't put anything into gifts since we spent everything and then some. Henry's school, we put $100. And then holidays, we put in $60. Image cosmetics, we didn't put anything in. Life insurance was $81. Healthcare was $25. One check ahead is $50. Online subscriptions is $80. Pet expense, we didn't put anything in. Technology is $25. Travel is $85. And vacation is $100, vehicles is $150, and wedding anniversary is $15. So our total was $1,505 that we put into sinking funds during the month of June. Now let's look at, I have what the previous balance is and the interest that was earned for the month, but let's look at what we spent. And so these are numbers that I have to plug in as we spend them. So out of the city utilities, we spent $9.27. I pulled $100 out for clothing. I pulled the $120 out for Henry's invitations, $17 for Matt's visit to Great Clips, $146 for the online subscriptions, and then $1,904 out of the travel fund. And that brought our total to $2,297. So let's talk about travel and why we pulled $1,900 out of the account. So I came to a crossroads in June where I had to make a decision about whether or not I was going to be attending FinCon in person in September. So it's out in Long Beach, which is the LA area. And with the pandemic, I'm not going to lie, I'm still very nervous. I am a person who has no problem with wearing my mask everywhere I go. I have no problem with staying home and not going out. And so when I think about traveling, going through an airport and traveling on a plane and being in a hotel and being at a conference with, large groups, at this point, large groups, I haven't been around more than 8 people at a time. Even at work, when we go in, I haven't been around more than 8 people at a time in almost 4 months now. And because I am a high risk person with my weight, and I have an underlying blood disorder that is going to wreak havoc if I were to contract this virus, I need to do everything in my power to not get it. So I had to make the really difficult decision to not go. And that's where I was. And I'm okay with that now, but it was really hard for me to come to that decision. Now, I still have my ticket. I think they're going to do like a live streaming type event. And so I'll still get to attend and do those things. I just won't be in person there with my friends that I look forward to seeing, and the energy of the conference when you are with all these people that are doing such amazing things. And it's an event I've gone to 2 years in a row, and I really, really look forward to it, but it's just not in the cards for this year. So when I made this, I'd already saved up $1,900. That's what this is. At the end of May, we had $1,904. I put another $85 in June, and then I stopped. Once we made this decision, I stopped. And so what was available to me at the moment that we made this decision was $1,904. What we decided was, instead of leaving it in the account that was earning 1.3% at the time, and today is earning 1.05%, because interest rates dropped another 0.25%, is that it would work harder for us if we paid it towards some debt. So we obviously have a lot of debt. And so we decided to make it work harder for us on those that have interest rates that are, 8, 9, 5, 6%, whatever it is. We were thinking in those terms, like, let's apply it to that. So that's what we did. So I'll talk about that next in the debt section. All right, so next up is the debt section. We're here. So we have 3 different sections inside of it. We have so many different debts in here. I had to break it into subsections. So we have the paid off section, which has $25,434 total here listed. I think there are 17 debts listed here that we've paid off since we started. These are all in the rearview mirror. We don't have to deal with them anymore. The other thing you'll notice here is that we have black and pink font, and that is to distinguish between those that only have Matt's name on them, which are the ones that are in black font, and anything that has my name on it, which is the items in pink. So that's what you're seeing here, and that flows throughout each section. So then the next section is the charged off section. This is a whole set of debts that are old and no longer with the original creditor. And Matt asked me at the very beginning if we could set these aside and deal with them later. And they total $9,547. All of them are old credit cards in Matt's name. So that's what we're doing. We'll deal with these later. We're just not doing anything with them actively right now. And then we have our actively paying section. And so we have here, I'll just run through these real quick. We have Medic EMS at $20. We did $75 to Care Credit, $25 to another Capital One card, $2,260 to my 401k loan, which I will come back to, $55 to Matt's private student loan, $190 to my Lowe's card, $200 to our HELOC, $550 to our car payment, $725 to child support, $200 to our family loan, and nothing to student loans, bringing our total debt payments to $4,300 for June. Now you can see, if we go back here, this is where we obviously put our $1,900 that we pulled out of the travel sinking fund. We decided to pay off our 401k loan, even though it's not our highest interest rate loan, or debt, we decided to put it here because not only does it eliminate the 4.5%, it's 4.25% or 4.5% is the interest rate that I was paying on this loan back to myself. But also, once we get the money in there, it works harder for us, much harder than paying off any other debt, because it will earn 6 to 8% interest over the long haul, if not more, because I have a fairly aggressive investment profile inside of my 401k. And so it will earn 6 to 8% on top of not having to pay the 4 and something percent of interest. So that is fantastic news that we got that in there, and now that's working for us. And, when it came down to it, this was a decision that I felt really good about. While it was very difficult to decide that I'm not going to travel to FinCon, that was the hardest part. Paying this loan off and being done with it feels really, really good. And I actually have added this loan up here into the paid off section now. And so this shows that my 401k loan was $6,068 at the point that we started our journey, which was February 1st of 2018. The original loan amount was $8,300, but this is part of the $252,000 that I've been working off of for the last couple of years. This was our total debt. So let's just review real quick our total expenses versus our total income. So total income was $13,159 and we spent $13,150, leaving $9 and some change. We just leave it in there as a buffer. You can see that we started with $190,624 in debt. We had to pay $340 in interest during June, and that at the end of June, our balance is $187,795. Now, when you look at this section here, our starting balance of debt was $252,326. In the month of June, we killed off for good, forever, never have to look at it again, $2,829 in debt. And our total debt paid to date is $64,531. So, some other numbers here, this 35.8%, this represents this $4,300 divided by our regular salaries plus the $1,900 we pulled in from the sinking fund to pay the loan, the 401k loan. So 35.8% of that is how much we put towards debt total. And like I said, $2,829 paid off this month. We, with our $64,531 total debt paid to date, that officially takes us past the 25% mark. We are more than 25% done paying off our original debt amount. So we are really excited about these milestones that we are hitting. We're into the 180s. We've paid off 25%. This is all fantastic stuff. And don't forget that this template is available to you if you would like to purchase it. It's in my Etsy shop, and that link will be listed down below so that you can go to that anytime you like. And next up, I'm going to be talking about our debt confession. So if you haven't seen that or you haven't watched it for a while, click on this video right here and check it out. It's where we started. I think it has around $240,000 listed on it. We actually had to add to it later, but this is where it all started. I'll meet you over there.